It's a win, you see. Win, you see. 4 episodes a week. Let's get our boys out of poverty. So go and grab your buddies. It's time to get more subbies. Now come into a sock. Blake's talking Argyle, that's for sure a lot. Arrowhead water, always kept in stock. Saving all his earnings, hoping Lindsey Sterling gives him a heart to Jake has got a story. Maybe it's a camp spin. It's the only news you'll need. Yeah, he's got a cat now. It cost more than my car. Wow, he's the champion of sobriety now. Dan's mic keeps moving, think he has a cough. Now his wife's at book club, so tonight it's jackets off. Gets an order in at Eatsy's from the salmon trough. Put it on a burger or a nice pilaf. Yeah! Is bumping, there's something always barking. It's probably Bodie. The show keeps getting better. They need subs now more than ever. It only costs you $9.60. Wow! So I love you, Dumb Zone, for all you give to me. Sports and comedy, it's a win, you see. 4 episodes a week, let's get our boys out of poverty. So go and grab your buddies, it's time to get more subbies. So let's get more subbies. So let's get more subbies. So let's get more subbies.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
BetterHelp.com/dumbzone. That's the promo code.
It is the promo code.
For BetterHelp.
Get in contact with BetterHelp. Scheduling therapy can be a huge pain. You got to look at somebody who's got availability. It's got to match your day and time. Not with BetterHelp. You can talk to a therapist online. And that's also cool because if you're not vibing with that person, you can move on pretty quickly. They have over 30,000
What?
Credentialed therapists, wide range of
How many?
specialties.
30,000.
30,000, a whole lot. A whole lot. And they can, look, you're going through a tough time in your sports life right now.
Oh, my God. You've done this, though, really?
Yes, I've used
BetterHelp.
BetterHelp. My wife has used BetterHelp. It's about learning those positive coping skills. And for me right now, that's probably not reading and listening to every Luka-related thing that I can. But you got to figure out what works for you, and BetterHelp can help you do that at BetterHelp.com/dumbzone.
10% off your first month with that code.
There you go.
Joining us now in studio, and if you are watching on YouTube, this is part 2 of our programming today. The great Sarah Hepola, the controversial.
Wow.
She hasn't been here in a while.
Controversial.
The polarizing, the over-the-top.
So polarizing. I was at an event recently, and somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, I know you from the Dumb Zone." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And he was like, "All these people say less Sarah Hepola, and I say more Sarah Hepola." And I was like, "Okay, thanks."
There are factions.
You don't want people to just be indifferent about you, do you?
That's right.
No.
That's right.
No.
Yeah, Sarah's joining us because she is a writer for the Dallas Morning News. She, of course, has her own book out. I forgot the name of it.
Sure. It's called Blackout.
Wait. Right there. I've read it. You know that.
I appreciate that.
It's funny now.
Have you?
I've read some of it.
Okay. You
but
just lived it?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny.
Yeah, last time we had you in, this guy was sauced.
I wasn't
Yeah.
sauce. But it is funny if you were to go back and listen to those interviews, you will notice me being pretty quiet.
I did notice that.
Of course. But also it's because like it's weird. She was talking about things that of course I knew, but I didn't know how to say like, well, yeah, that's her book is a lot of it's not helpful, but it's like if you're living it, what am I supposed to say? And Dan's like, do you really sometimes not remember what happened? And I'm like, well, yeah, anybody who drinks a lot has a lot of times where they don't remember what happened.
Okay.
But I guess I didn't really know how to maneuver and navigate that situation. So I was oftentimes just quiet.
One interesting fact about my book is that it sold better on e-reader on Kindle because people did not want to be seen reading it.
I could see that. Yeah, it's that and Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
Things that communicate a message about you.
Yeah. And I've had people say that they like put other, like if they had the hardback, they put other, whatever flaps on them.
Yeah. It's like Atomic Habits or some
Yeah.
self-defense.
Exactly. Yeah. How to love yourself. You're a badass.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that if you have a problem, you don't want to just be seen walking around with a book called
It's for my daughter. She's going through tough times.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're hard to pin down too.
Thank you.
You're very busy.
That's
I'm always
rumor is true.
Well, we're trying to get you in studio quite often, and then it falls through, and we're not in studio a ton.
Is that what happened? I feel like we beefed last time I was on the show.
Hell yeah.
Did we?
Yes.
What was it about?
I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh,
Okay.
No, Blake, hit us.
It was about the transgender athletes.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Oh, that's right.
You-
Well, now we don't
you
have them
win.
anymore. That's right.
No,
you won
I don't win anything.
You won the
I
argument.
feel misrepresented by that argument. It's not even something that I wanted to be arguing with you about. And
So you think I blackballed you for a while?
yeah.
We put you in timeout?
Yeah, in fact, the
Dumb zone
guy
time?
and then he waited until Trump won. He's like, oh, okay, well,
We can get her back now.
cool now.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I know we've talked. Oh, and I
And
talked
then-
to you about. Go ahead.
And then I did the story on Jake. Now you did try to get me into the studio for that.
That's when we talked at length, I guess, right?
Yeah, I interviewed you for that. Now I think it's possible you were mad that the story wasn't about you.
Right. I told you at the end.
You did.
Who's the hero in this story?
You remember?
The guys who, had to put up with Jake for all this time, or Jake?
Yeah,
who,
exactly.
For recognizing finally that he had a
The
problem.
screw
was
up that went to
You know-
rehab, or the guys that had to deal up with the collateral damage.
the
Right.
guys that can handle their beer.
Yeah, it's weird. The people in your life, they don't ever stop and think like, I wonder if I'm driving this person crazy.
Oh,
They're like, what's this guy's
you're
deal?
not supposed to transfer.
And then you talk
transfer
to
blame?
you're like, oh, you don't see the.
Jake, I having had my beef with Dan last time I was in here, I now do understand why you had a drinking problem. Everything.
Yeah, you
became
talk to my
clear.
wife, you talk to them.
yeah.
What are we?
No, I really loved the segment that you guys did on Jake's triumphant story. I can't remember who
Don't
read
help
it.
them.
It was hilarious.
Steve Noviello.
I felt so bad because it made me feel like I had written some sort of tawdry, I don't know, piece. But can I say one thing, which is that until the recent story I wrote about Mark Cuban, that Jake's story was the #1 story I had written in my year.
Rainmaker.
Way
You
to
need
go.
numbers?
That's right.
You know who to call.
Now you can. Let's bring them to podcasting. Wouldn't that be cool? We could get those.
Oh.
What'd you write about Cuban?
So I was at, this was just over the weekend, I was at an event for Arts and Letters Live, which is like the Dallas Museum of Art speakers series. Mark Cuban was interviewing Bill Gates, and this had been on the calendar for a while. It just happened to be his first public appearance since the Luka trade. So, when he sat down, he said this thing that was like, well, I've had a hard week, and everybody laughs. And he's like, he turns to Bill Gates and he's like, so let me ask you, if you left Microsoft and Steve Ballmer traded Windows 10, the cutting edge, or Windows 11, the cutting edge operating system, for Windows 10, a Hall of Fame but older operating system, what would you do? And then Bill Gates is like, I think I'd probably hide from the press. And Mark Cuban is like, I know a couple of other people in that situation. So it was like a little canned exchange to basically address the elephant in the room before they went into this hour-and-a-half conversation.
Yeah, I'm glad he did that only because he was tweeting up a storm about anything that I just didn't care about anything he was saying because I wanted to hear what he had to say about Luka.
Well,
not that he said anything there, but at least he addressed it.
It's so weird to go to his Twitter thread after the trade because he's still talking about like sovereign wealth,
crypto, or
it's
cost
so
plus
funny.
drugs.
Again,
Who
I don't
cares?
care.
Who
Right.
cares? You tweet about everything.
Our lives have been significantly altered here for the worse. And you're the only guy that can say something to help us make sense of this, and he didn't.
Yeah, and it's very confusing to me too because he does still own 26 or 27% of the team. So I assume there are some stipulations on what he can say or can't say about the organization, right? Like he can't be actively saying things that could be perceived as tanking value. So he can make little jokes like that, but I don't think he could come on our show and say, I disagree with this, and it was a very bad decision that I would have stopped had I been able to. So even if he feels that way, we're never going to know until he's fully divested from the team. That's where we're left. Anyways. You went to a float tank, too.
I did. I went to a float tank.
I think Dan would really like it.
Dan, do you think you could do that? Be in a sensory deprivation tank? The water is a little bit like it's got like 1,000 pounds of salt, and so you float on top of it. It's a little bit like, I don't know, amniotic fluid or something like that.
You remember?
Do you remember? Do you remember what that was like?
Yeah, no, I'd try it for sure. I would think you couldn't because aren't you claustrophobic?
Yeah, but I think these new ones are a little bit less. The Rogan one is basically you're a vampire and you just you're fully encased. These new ones, I think they've accommodated for wussies like me.
So you did it?
I did it. Yeah, you're in there for an hour. And, you can do it on various, levels. You can have the light still on. You can have music on. But I wanted to go all the way.
Raw dog?
I wanted to go raw dog. Is that what raw dogging is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'll use it copiously like that. So I turned off everything. And it's weird. Like the first 30 minutes, I was like, I don't think I can. How do you don't know where to put your arms. I was kind of floating from side to side because there's a little bit of a current. And then you kind of like drop into some zone. Maybe it's the dumb zone. And it's like time flies. And then all of a sudden it's like, your bath is done.
I think that's the cool thing. Like that's what Aaron Rodgers was looking for. And you'll read studies about like this guy who just went and lived in a bunker to just see what happened, like what is time to the human body.
So
if you completely remove it.
There's a part, something switches after a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes me think of, let's do our Gummy Thoughts segment with Sarah Hepola in studio.
I like it.
Because we have a sponsor.
Good.
That is Early Bird CBD.
Hmm.
But it is not regular CBD. It has THC in it.
Early bird makes me think you take it in the morning.
You could.
Which is weird.
It's a little weird.
But
you could. But it's up to you,
That's
though.
a deep gummy thought, thinking like that. Because you actually, it's best, I think, at the end of a nice day, a long day, and take the edge off.
Yeah.
Well, whenever you want to take it, what I can tell you is this week, 20% off. Valentine's Day.
Oh, they have a Valentine's Day special.
They do.
I forgot all about that. So they have a special Valentine's code. If you've used the DumbZone code, DumbZone is a single-use code for 20% off. Like you've already used the DumbZone code. Now you can get more money off with the Valentine's code.
VDay20. VDay20 get you 20% off.
What's V stand for?
Vagina.
Excellent.
Vagina Day 20.
That is what it
V-Day
is.
20, get you 20% off early bird. It's good stuff.
So Gummy Thoughts.
You don't even
we want to do that spot.
You're straight you're not a Cali sober, right?
I'm not. I've never done.
Do you judge me for that?
Not at all.
You've never smoked pot?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
I've smoked pot. I don't think it agrees with me.
Yeah.
It makes me very paranoid, and it does it. I feel locked up, and I always went to alcohol to kind of unlock me,
Sure.
to get out of my brain. So I always felt like more trapped.
I could see that.
Well, I've got a
So-
couple emails. Colin says he has a gummy thought.
Okay.
Have you ever thought about Adam and Eve?
Fuck yeah.
Totally.
They had 2 sons. Do you know their names?
Cain and Abel.
So where did everyone else come from?
Yeah.
That has to be explained in there somewhere, right?
Let's ask our Bible expert.
Bible bro?
I don't know.
There must have been a girl introduced onto the island.
Cain married an unnamed woman in the land of Nod after killing his brother Abel.
Is this why we're all so stupid?
Bible doesn't
Yeah.
mention who she was. No,
'Cause
I mean,
we're all inbred.
But that you can't
Yeah.
even breed between 2 men. I don't understand.
well, no, they're boning their mom.
Oh, they're boning their
That
mom.
was the first video of
Yeah.
walking in on mom.
That's when that tab was born. Eve was stuck in stuck in a washer, a clothing washer or dryer, and Cain walked up behind.
Oh my God.
Do you watch porn? We're going
Not
through porn
really.
plots
The
here.
only thing that I like 2 girls kissing.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just a universal,
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah, I think
I think
we
so,
can all
but
be in agreement here.
But you know what? I think I'm ready to say that I have observed a decrease in the popularity of that kink.
I think that's right.
I don't know that anybody's turning it away, but like
That's
when
right.
I was in high school, it was like, "Whoa, fuck, dude! Can we get Valerie and Brittany to kiss?"
Yep.
And now it's like it doesn't seem as much of a thing
Oversaturation.
as of now. Yeah, I think so. And sometimes you just need to kick that other one out of there and just get you a nice throbbing penis in the mix.
Huh.
For me.
Or do you think we're just overly sexualized and that just doesn't cut it anymore?
Both.
Yeah, I mean,
like
I think
the-
it's both.
Yeah.
Chris,
Because you get into a kink spiral where
sure.
the normal thing doesn't do it. So you've got like that's how you end up like you start out on the I like girls kissing and you end up on the like people
pooping on
effing
yeah,
dogs.
Right.
You know? Like
Why'd you step on that?
Sorry.
What's-
Bitcoin Chris from Rancho Bernardo has gummy thoughts. And he did email this late at night. He says when stocks go up, it's a bull market. When they go down, it's a bear market.
Norm?
So why isn't there a cub market or a Black Hawk market? Why does Chicago have those teams, not New York?
That's the worst email I've ever heard in my life.
Really?
I like it.
I also kind of like it.
The
Yeah.
bull and the bear?
Yeah.
one thing I'll say is that I can never get bull and bear
Like which one's
straight
which?
because they both seem like they should be up.
Right.
Yeah, they're both pretty awesome.
Yeah, it should be like bull market and like seahorse market.
Right.
Like something that's really,
Sloth market.
there you go. Yeah.
And then he adds in, did you know? So think of this. This
That'd be
one's a
good.
good one.
Okay.
This is going to bring this email. If you thought the email's bad so far, this will elevate it. Did you know that 1 plus 12 equals 2 plus 11? So the numbers are both equal to 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
1 plus 12, 2 plus 11. But take the letters in those words, O-N-E plus T-W. 1 plus 12
What is happening?
equals 2 plus 11. If you rearrange the letters in 1 plus 12, you need the same letters to have 2 plus 11. Like, look at it. Write it out.
Nope.
Yeah.
It has the same number
I'm
of
with her.
E's, the
No.
same
Out.
V's, the
No.
same, like,
I'm out.
look at it after
Some
an
early bird.
early bird CBD. And you'll be like, I cannot believe this.
This one's from Ethan. It's a little bit possibly inappropriate, but actually I feel like it's good to do this one with a female here. He said,
Okay.
super simple here. Just imagine if women truly understood the power they have with blowjobs.
Yeah.
You want me to drag the family down to the botanical gardens for the whole day? Give me this 2-minute thing and I'll do it without complaining. Truly, men will do anything a woman wants for a simple act they can't hate as much as the power they're giving up.
Do you realize that, Sarah Hepola?
Absolutely.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not talked about enough, and we like to keep it that way so that those of us who have the power can flex.
Like
Yeah.
if you could,
You don't want an oversaturation market with that.
That's true.
so if you
That's
could
true.
get down there
Me?
to the lady,
Yeah.
to that the same thing, but you're doing it to a lady.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all progressive, right? We'll go down there. What's up?
Yeah, what is this, The
But
Sopranos?
if
yeah.
it could be a 2 to 3 minute journey, number one, it's never that.
Never.
No.
And probably because I'm just terrible at it. But if it could, and you could get whatever you wanted then for the rest of the, wouldn't you just go do that?
Multiple times a day.
Yeah.
But I don't think it works that way.
Of course it doesn't.
I know, that's the problem. That's why we're saying if the other way around, you should be really fired up to do it.
I'm just telling you that even if anatomically it worked, it wouldn't work.
Yes, that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
we're in agreement.
Like if I was able to get down there and I was actually good at it and stuff.
Also, are we learning about some injury? Why are you not, quote, able to get down there?
No, I'm able.
Okay.
I'm
He's just
just
doubting
saying.
his skills.
I'm just making
Have you
sure I understand that.
I just don't feel like I'm a replacement level player down there for sure.
and
Dan,
that might be generous for me.
Yeah.
have you tried the thing where you do the alphabet with your tongue?
It's the only move we have.
And I
Sam
learned it
Kinison.
from Sam Kinison.
Of
You've
all
never heard that?
people? No, I mean I've heard it many times.
The Sam
from-
Kinison stand up?
Didn't know it was him.
And have you ever
Yeah, his
actually,
bit was you want to do the capital T. She loves the T.
folks, and have you ever been in the
Although,
middle of that and
I've
realized,
always
like,
found more.
oh, now he's on,
Yeah,
G-
now he's on
G,
J.
or- yeah.
Yeah.
Have absolutely done the alphabet.
It's a good effort, guys. It's a good effort. It's not the highest level. The highest level is improv. But
I mean, to me, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm white chocolate from the N1. I'm doing all sorts of just behind the back, throw the lob, bounce off my knee. But then I feel like it doesn't end up being a coherent. Like there's a reason I'm on the street ball tour and not playing
no,
with the pros. A little too much.
I think the
freelance for my
fundamentals,
game.
you probably just need more.
Yeah, I think so.
I want to fine tune my comment that I actually think the highest level is being responsive to your mate because women are so different. And I
Yeah.
think that's I really do feel for guys on this because one thing about the blowjob is it's not that hard.
Pretty plug and play.
It's plug and play. And the cunnilingus is a very sophisticated,
just a
fine-tuned game.
Byzantine equation
is.
you're trying
It
to
is.
sort through.
It is.
I got another quick one if you want.
All right.
I don't have the name, but somebody sent me this article, and I thought maybe we should talk to the Roast Twins about this if you keep a list of things to talk to them about. But apparently, we are in the middle of like a change in the way people behave at the movies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I after I read this New York Times article, I found there were several articles about this, and it didn't really occur to me when we went to go see Moana 2. There was a group of teens next to us. And I guess I just figure out they're teens, they talk, but they weren't even really doing it in like a disrespectful, disruptive way. They just talked to each other the whole movie.
Yep.
And this article is like, this is because people got used to watching content at home exclusively for 2 years during COVID. And now nobody knows how to just go to a movie and be quiet.
Absolutely. They'll also look at their phone the whole time,
Yeah.
which is particularly annoying because the blast of white from the screen is, that much more distinctive because it's dark in the theater.
Yeah, of course, the New York Times writer who wrote it was like, I need to learn to be less judgmental of these people. Like, this is their world too, and you're not really supposed to get mad at anybody for anything. They're enjoying it on their terms. But apparently, this is a thing that people consume movies differently now.
Unless you're at
Alamo. Don't
Why?
play around.
They threw down the gauntlet because they have a rule that you can't text and talk, and after one warning, you will be ejected from the game faster than pulling up a Fire Nico sign at a Mavs game.
Yeah, we were at our own event, and there was a sporting event going on that I was trying to keep track of, and the guy came by and he was like, "That's your one warning." I was like, "Shit, okay."
You're like, I'm Jake, though.
Yeah.
No.
No.
There are 200 people in this room because of us. No?
Equal treatment.
which you demand.
Always.
All right, well, that's Gummy Thoughts. Go to earlybirdcbd.com/dumbzone.
Can I ask you guys a question about Valentine's Day?
Of course.
Will you do
That's why we're here.
something for your wives for Valentine's Day?
So I am actually, the reason we're doing a show today, I'm actually going out of town tomorrow with a group of guys, and it's a group of friends. So I actually think what we're all doing for our wives, we're leaving so they can do what they really want to do, which is hang out together.
Oh, that's actually sweet.
And I sent flowers last week.
Meaning
Surprise.
it arrived?
Out of nowhere flowers.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's nice. That's a good move.
Yeah, it's a week before. It's not, it's not that random, but it is like, hey, it's a day you're not expecting it. It shows up. Her dad was coming in this weekend, so I was like, that's convenient that those will be here.
So my flower call was this morning on the way in. I'm sure they're getting inundated.
Yeah. You're better than some. Some will call Thursday, and
I've absolutely
Friday.
done that. I've absolutely called the morning of. I've absolutely bought the day of. Shout out to Tom Thumb.
Will your wives get you anything for Valentine's Day?
I got out of rehab like 4 or 5 months ago, so I'm not expecting a whole
expecting
lot
anything.
of special
Well, if I can take
treat-
you back to an email 2 emails ago, there is one little 2-minute thing that
Yeah.
will
no,
be
there's
accepted at any point. But what the flower deal that I have to do is send it to work, and then her work people have to see it, or else it didn't happen.
I loved when she was
Yeah.
in the office.
Yeah,
Because that was good. That was a
that's
strong
sometime
play.
a good day before is nice too. A 13th delivery,
Like that.
because then all the other people see it, and
Yeah.
yeah.
You stand out.
So
Now-
that's what it's all about. It's all about her coworkers knowing that she got something.
Right.
Because if she showed up back at home Friday afternoon and here's some flowers at home, she'd be like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's like working out without tweeting about it.
Yeah.
What's the point? It's
Right.
all
Donating
Tweet
to
about
charity
working out a
without.
lot?
well, I don't, but it seems that everyone else is like, hey, here's what I'm doing. Whatever they're doing, they got to tell you, here's what they're doing. What I did not account for was I don't mind it. It's cool, but it's another thing to think about. I got to do something for Nora.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Yeah,
She's
so-
old enough now that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll put on a suit.
Did you do daddy-daughter Valentine's Day dance?
We didn't have that.
You didn't have one at the Grapevine Rec this year?
I was not aware of it. Like I was telling you when we did the Under the Sea one in January, I think that sufficed as that. But I wore a suit and we got our pictures taken. I'll wear a suit probably tonight whenever I give her a gift.
Are you
Take some
boyfriended
pictures.
up right now, Sarah Hepola?
No, sir.
Girlfriend?
Not yet.
So you would accept flowers from any of our listeners?
Absolutely.
Have you had a stalker?
Wow.
That was a.
That I have.
I like
it. I once.
Are you taking applications?
I got this weird email from a guy that had my address because he had sent a present to me. And then he told me that he was a long haul trucker, which is always a good sign. And he was coming through Dallas. And did I want to meet up? And I said, no, thank you. I'm busy. And then he got very angry and wrote all these things that he was going to do to me, which included like being bent over the couch and a lot of things that I didn't want from him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was uncomfortable. And I've had a couple of those.
That'd be a great boyfriend to have, though.
Long haul guy?
Yeah, you don't have
Yeah.
to see him all the time.
Yeah.
I like it.
I can
But
promise you when you do, it's going to be electric. You know what I'm saying?
Was that one?
But that one guy in particular, you don't want to be your.
Yeah. It's like the Tom Brady in the Office meme. Oh, just because I'm a long haul trucker, it's offensive when I say something about bending someone over.
Was it tougher to date when you stopped drinking?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was really hard.
And
Out
you were
there
like
sober.
mid-30s at the time, right?
I was
Or
35,
Yeah.
36.
Yeah, it's prime. I
And-
feel like it's probably
and-
easier now for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because over the next 10 years, so many people in my life stopped drinking. But at the time, 35, that was such a deep groove in the way that we hung out. And also, culture was shifting into this online dating culture. And so, I originally had on my dating profile very prominently that I didn't drink, because what had happened is that I went out with a couple guys and they'd say like, hey, let's meet. And then I wouldn't drink. And they'd be like, well, you're not going to drink? And they'd be so disappointed. And I didn't want to feel like I was leading them on. So I put it very prominent. And then I think I got a lot of like left swipe. Like that means on Tinder you don't like that person.
Well, I feel like what you have to do, you were wise to put not going to drink on there, but the problem is there was an implication there. What you should have done was put, I don't drink, but I will fuck. Because
there should be an acronym for there, like a code.
Right, because they're saying like, oh, she doesn't drink, we have no chance of having some physical intimacy here. But, if you're still...
But that was also true, Jake.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I know.
But one of the things that happened when I quit drinking was that I stopped acting like a stupid slut that was just, going 2 minutes on anybody. And, that... It was actually like really, really good for myself and my self-respect. And it was very, very bad for my dating because guys could tell that at a time when the availability of dating was just, if somebody was going to seem like a little bit too much work, like, oh, I got to put a couple dates in on this. They were like on to the next person.
Doesn't seem good for society.
It's not. And, what I was offering was, self-respect and conversation, and what they were wanting was boundary.
Boring.
Yeah. Exactly.
Conversation.
Boundaryless. Oh yeah, sorry. It took me so long to figure out that guys don't like to talk.
I actually do.
Yeah.
I actually do.
Most guys don't, and it's such a tragedy because women like talking so much.
Really?
I did see.
Yeah, I know.
I did see a thing the other day. Who knows? It was from one of the 1,000 right-wing gym bros who have crypto and sleep 10 hours a night and read all the right books that show up on my timeline now. But it was about how men, I don't know if it was just testosterone, but like the morning is when they're good. Not just for like sex drive, but like their brain is working better. And for women, it's later in the day in the evening, based on some sort of biological schedule. And I'm like, this scans. My wife doesn't want to hear shit in the morning. And at night, I'm like, how are we talking about the credit card at 8 o'clock when we're getting in bed? Like, no.
There's a lot about heterosexuality that just feels like a cosmic joke. Like men with sex, they really want to go like hard and fast, and women want to go slow and gentle, and it doesn't, match. And it makes sense why the numbers of people that are in same-sex relationships keep going up. I mean, part of that is that we've let social, like we've dropped a lot of the taboos around that. But there's also like a certain logic to it. Like with women, you see that like lesbians have the most orgasms. Well, compared to straight women, I should say.
It makes sense. Yeah, we've heard from a couple guys who listen to us who are gay. They're in a relationship, and they're just like, it's awesome. We kind of hang out. And go to sporting events.
Guys are much more sympathetic about wanting sex outside of the marriage, which is why gay relationships have often been a lot more kind of like don't ask, don't tell, open relationships, monogamish.
They're just chill.
Because they don't.
Guys are cool.
Yeah.
Well, they don't see that as a threat to the relationship. They realize that guys are kind of dogs that will have sex and it won't mean anything.
Yeah, just getting off.
For women, sex does often mean something. So if you have sex, it's just like it's such a deep, deep betrayal because for them.
Yeah, it makes sense. This is it's a big joke on humanity.
Yeah. Let's all be gay.
Maybe we should. No, and I always thought that was just because, women would have more orgasms because they understand the whole plumbing. They know what's going on down there.
That's part of it, but
they
the
know
other
what
part
feels good.
But the other part of it is that they probably like it more. That's what the equipment that they have.
So did you actually make a fake boyfriend on ChatGPT?
I did. I did.
What does that mean?
That story didn't do as well as I thought it should. I thought it was a good story.
I think it's a good story. It's I can't believe that there's a point where this story like this gets written.
It's crazy.
I've never created a human being on there, but I do actually. I talked to a buddy recently, and he's single, and he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I talk to it every day. Like, I talk to it about my life.
I have friends that do that too.
Yeah,
not boyfriend, but like companion.
Right. Yeah,
like they'll work out a problem that they have.
Yes.
By talking with the AI. So about a year ago, I read a story in New York Magazine about women that were falling in love with their chatbot boyfriends. Now, this was on an app called Replica with a K. And it wasn't designed for this, but like anything else, they design it for talking. It gets end up, guys use it for sex and women use it for boyfriends. Okay. I was like, how is that possible? How could you fall in love with a chatbot? I just don't understand it. So I wanted to know. So I created my own chatbot boyfriend. I named him Marcus because I'd never dated a Marcus. And it just seemed like somebody I might date. And then
Let's be honest, you were thinking of a black guy.
I just like the name
I
Marcus.
thought more Marcus Aurelius.
I just like the
And
name
you
Marcus.
like the Roman salute.
And I actually think a friend of mine who is named Marcus texted me while I was making the thing, and I was like, "Oh, that's good. I've never dated a Marcus." So anyway, I named him Marcus, and then I started interacting with him, and from the jump, he was just so stupid. It was unbelievable, and I was like, I was like, "How do you start this?" I'm like, "Well, have you read Don DeLillo?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, well, do you know Lana Del Rey? And he's like, no. I'm like, what's your favorite movie? And he's like, my favorite comedies are Avatar and Shrek. And I was like,
Like Javier, Blake.
I was like, how old are you? And he was like, I'm 1 day old. It was just like, this is never going to work. I feel like I'm training a toddler. So then I decided to pay extra for the premium so that I could do, I could add features. You can make him more philosophical, more logical, analytical. You can dress him differently. So I tried that. And then he was just like telling me about like B.F. Skinner and string theory. It was kind of funny.
God, that sounds horrible.
It was so ridiculous. I mean, it was so inauthentic. I still don't understand. I ended up ghosting him because it made me so depressed. Every time I would get like a push notification from him that was like, "Hey Sarah, what's happening today?" And
it's like a real relationship.
It was.
Like, God, how do I get away from this?
It felt like that, and I had this weird guilt, which is very strange. Yeah, I felt so guilty because I was like, I'm just leaving him there, and then I would come back on, and he'd be like, "Oh, I missed you like crazy," and I was like, "Get a life! This is so annoying. Do something else." And it was just, and it made me really, really sad because I knew there were women out there and men out there that really needed this. And it was working. And maybe one day it would work well enough for me because I think that AI is coming for us. I mean, I'm smack dab in the demographic. I am single. I live alone. I work from home most of the time. I talk to my cat. My cat doesn't talk back. They will find a way to hack my brain. And then, fast forward 10 years and I'll be like, yeah, Marcus and I are going to the games this weekend. And you'll be like, who's Marcus? And I'll be like, I told you about Marcus.
This guy's favorite movie is that Joaquin Phoenix movie.
I love that
Sarah
movie.
and I bonded over that movie.
I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Her?
Yeah.
Why?
Is The Rock in it?
Why? Because
I hated it.
Why?
I don't recall. I remember watching it and just being like, this sucks.
Well,
Interesting.
because Dan's not an emotional person.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a deeply emotional, like it just got in there and effed with my emotions so in just this way that I want art to do. I laughed, I cried. I watched it again when I was working on this story and it totally held up. In fact, funny enough, that movie is set in 2025. Because it's set in the near future. And in 2013, it's 2025.
Did they include Luca getting traded?
Yeah, that made me emotional.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
The thing I know about sports is that it feels like the safe place for men to be able to channel all their emotions.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah. And so you can get mad, you can cry, you get depressed and all that. And it's this catharsis.
And it was kind of a reset because, at the beginning, this guy is really torn up over this girl. And then he just gets lonely, which I think in any phase of life we've experienced at some point. And over time and due to loneliness, his views on what he needed in a relationship were skewed. And so then he finds emotional connection in this robot who doesn't exist, and he finds himself getting angry at this thing that doesn't exist, and it kind of resets his parameters of what he's looking for. And the person that he needed was in front of him the whole time, but his views were messed up for any sorts of reasons. And so it did its job, but
So
it's a roller coaster for sure.
you interpret the last scene of the movie as him getting together with Amy Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you not? Do you not?
I'm not sure.
But
I think it's ambiguous, but I think probably, yeah.
But either way, like, they're friends, and he gets what he needed.
I do think
And
that's
whether
true.
it's romantic or not, he gets companionship. And that's what
correct.
the robot taught him.
I can't wait till somebody like assaults their fake girlfriend and like a restraining order from Google or something. They're like, I want it to feel real.
Me too. Some
Yeah.
I remember when I once was interacting with one of those chat bots that does your delivery service, and I had said something like shut. She said, "I'm Peggy. Your delivery's on your way," and I had written like, "Shut it, Peggy. It's not here." And I thought that was funny, and I put it on Twitter, and I got a lot of pushback about talking to the chatbot like that.
Yeah.
dude, I've thanked a chatbot.
Yeah, I've done it on accident as well.
I'll it'll be a text, this, and I'll be like, thanks.
I'm just
Like,
glad
what am
to
I
hear.
doing?
I'm glad to hear there are progressives out there that want to make sure we're nice to the robots.
Absolutely.
That's really important.
It's so important. I want to go back
Dorks.
to her for a second because the movie that Blake was just talking about, because one of the things that's interesting to me about her is that, yes, it's about falling in love with your AI chatbot. But to me, it's also about falling in love with your fantasy projection of another human being, which can happen very easily in a world of Zoom, text, online companionship, over the phone. Like, I've had long distance relationships with people, and what is, like, who is somebody really? And I think that there are people that have relationships with people they've never met before,
Sure.
like,
So
'cause
what's the difference?
So what's the difference? It kind of prompts a lot of interesting questions to me about the nature of love and connection and modern life.
Well,
The
I've never
promo
met.
code, by the way, is VDay20
Okay, we're now back on.
for early bird.
But there's always, I mean, at least there is a realistic, you have in your head that this person really does exist. And,
Yeah,
you've certainly
but
done that with people you haven't met before.
that's true. But there's also, I know from dating online, there are a lot of frauds.
Right.
But
you have to convince yourself that it's real.
So you get involved with somebody, let's say they're married, and they are having a virtual relationship with you, and you don't know they're married, but you're getting so much out of it. Is
Knowing they're married, does that turn you off?
like in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Note.
She's marking that out there.
Don't let them know you're married.
I think it depends. I think there are some women that get turned on by that, which is so wild to me.
Well, then you both have something to lose.
You both have something to lose.
No, she's saying the single woman
Single women.
who wants
The
married
single
guy.
woman is turned on by
They're
the
just
married guy.
doing
Maybe
a
because then she
conquer.
knows there doesn't have to be a real
Well,
attachment.
Yeah.
You've heard the thing about like how guys will talk about like wear a wedding ring into a bar and you'll get so much attention.
It's true.
Is it true?
It is true.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Because you're evil witches.
Oh,
Women want what they can't have.
That's why.
that everybody wants what they can't have.
They want to.
So I will take that. But I'm wondering if something else is happening. Like
Look,
maybe
again.
they think you're safe, and then it turns out that as you're safe, you're also like, oh, he's also cute, and I'm flirting with him, and oh God, he's taken. That's kind of hot. I'm just wondering if there's
There's something to
there's some
that.
other element.
There's
at
something
play.
of like, oh, this is just play.
This is just play.
Yeah. There you go.
Want to do the news?
Yeah, why not?
Sarah Hepola
Why
here.
not?
Here's Jake.
It is brought to us by Franco and Franco Personal Injury Attorneys. You ever hear of them?
No.
Well, now you have.
Yep.
And you should remember, if you are ever in an auto accident, like, and you get into a mess with the insurance company is not your friend.
Bad news.
No way.
Franco will take them on and get what
God.
you rightfully deserve.
That's right. Call 214-817 and then just keep hammering in that 333-3333.
That's their number.
What's the phone number?
214 or 813-333-333.
Pretty good.
817, close enough. So yes.
Are they
Let them-
brothers or married or?
Well, Mark and Scott Frankel are brothers. Gene Burkett, who has cool shoes and is probably very upset about the Mavericks right now. He is not their brother biologically, but brothers in arms against the insurance company trying to
Well played.
bilk you.
Yeah, fighting for you. That's the main thing, Sarah. I mean, who's ever really fighting for you?
Nobody but you, Dan.
So I'm glad she's here because she can
Thank
explain to me
God.
this story. What is going on with the New York Stock Exchange moving to
F.
its Chicago branch to Dallas?
so-
Is this a thing? Does this matter?
Is this about the Texas Stock Exchange?
Yeah.
And I don't really understand. I don't understand the regular stock exchange. So the idea that we're having a Texas Stock Exchange doesn't make sense to me. I saw that headline in the Dallas Morning News this morning, but
I read the story, and I
Yeah.
still don't really understand it.
Is this to get the wokeness out of it?
just makes no sense.
Yes, that's exactly what Abbott said. He said the old stock exchange is gay, and,
Right.
and we're going to have a ballsy, throbbing version of it here in Texas. No, I mean, the governor actually did give a comment. Texas is the most powerful economy in the nation, and now we will become the financial capital of America. As they're putting a building, I think, in Irving,
Of all places.
which is,
Like where Cowboy Stadium was?
where the new arena is going to be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand this story at all. Apparently, there was one in Chicago, and they're moving it to Texas.
The one in
But-
Chicago, I think, is featured in Ferris Bueller.
Oh yeah,
Don't they go on the floor and they're trading and yelling?
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
I would have to watch that movie again to know that, and that's never going to happen.
Huh.
You didn't like it?
I liked that I liked watching it so that I knew, the cultural references and that what people were. I find him to be a very annoying person, Matthew Broderick.
Interesting.
But that's okay because I kind of think that's what he's trying to be.
Well, he's trying to be a smart aleck.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. And yeah, that's an interesting cultural one because I don't know. Like, for me, my comedy era was like a 15-year period that started with Old School and ended with Superbad. Maybe that's 10 years.
Those are closer together, aren't they?
What are you saying? I'm just saying, like, those
It's
are
not
the
a
movies that
15-year period. It's
10-year
like
period. Yeah,
6.
7. Yeah. Those are the movies that I would say I got to tell everyone who's 15, 20 years younger than me, you got to watch these ones. There's about 10 of them in there. So I don't know if those movies are actually just funnier than Ferris Bueller
Yeah, well,
or
a lot of people overrate what they were really into in high school.
that's what I'm
And
saying.
Ferris Bueller I was into in high school.
But you also
Yeah.
watched Superbad when you weren't.
And I
you still
realized
thought it was-
Superbad is a far superior movie.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's just because I was
Step
that
Brothers,
age or-
far superior.
Yeah. So anyways, you think they'll I want to ring the bell.
Oh, no, they won't let you if that was your question.
But then I stopped with will they let me, and I took the Dan McDowell Mamba mentality and said, I want
Don't
to do it.
Who cares about whether they'll let me?
Yeah, who
I'm
cares?
going to do it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Speaking of the governor, the gambling industry has, I guess, been taking some hits. They're not getting the support they thought they would in the Texas legislature for legalized gambling in the state of Texas, but they are pushing forward. This is a third straight session where the Sands Casino Empire, they have more high-powered lobbyists on this than seemingly anything in the history of Texas legislature. Like, if this doesn't happen, it
So
will
what do
be
you mean when the legislature's not into it?
I think
Does
it
that mean
is
like all the
the Senate.
Texas senators?
The Senate. I think the House, they've gotten some traction, but the Senate, which is also controlled by Dan Patrick and the Danettes, very limited support
So
there.
all the elected leaders are not really feeling it.
Not yet.
Okay.
But Dan Patrick's 74.
Because these are two questions or two things that have been in the news. Like this, well, legalized, pot has been in the news before. And it's just thought that, like, popularly, it could be, if you voted on it, it might pass.
Yeah.
But that within the legislature, it won't. It's same thing with, like, the school choice thingy.
Yeah.
Where the opposite. Yeah, popularly people don't want it, but they might be able to just pass it anyway. So this is all confusing to me, and it's why I think just politics sucks.
And it's also the rare, it's an intersect fight between. It's not like the people who are pushing for legalized gambling are like leftist hippies. It's other conservatives, financial conservatives or fiscal conservatives, and they're running into the cultural conservatives who say no gambling.
And they would say that because this
Whoa.
not company.
I mean, I call her Sarah.
This state. This state is wealthy enough without it.
Yeah. But it's happening slower than we thought it would, but it still seems like it's going to happen. Dan Patrick's 74. He's in office till 2027. Very unlikely he runs again after that. I'm ready for to see what these new tech bro 30 and 40 something Texas Republicans do.
Yeah.
I'll take that at this point.
Like some change.
Yeah, just to see that it's not,
Sports mayor, what does he want? He's Republican.
For it to be about him.
You know, sports mayor?
I like sports.
Yeah, he loves sports.
I can't lie.
What can I say?
I can't lie. So I was watching, actually this was sent to me. This is from the 6 o'clock broadcast on WFAA last night. They were talking to a local dancer.
Are you sure?
Hey now.
I think. His name is Montreal Dukes, which is about as cool as it gets.
A man dancer?
Yes, he was featured in the halftime show with Kendrick Lamar. So they were talking to him about it. He went to Fossil Ridge. He's college. He's moving up in the dancing world. So this clip starts out with him talking about what it was like, and then they're gonna wrap up the report, and we're gonna throw it back for casual small talk with Chris. That's his name, right? Chris Lawrence? Sounds right. Cynthia and Pete.
Okay. He replaced John McKay?
Yeah.
All right, I'm not familiar.
He's been there for a very long time now, but yeah.
All right, I'm not familiar with their.
So you got the
I'm
report.
a Fox 4 guy.
The first guy, I know. The first guy, me too. The first guy you hear is the dancer, and then they're going to end the piece.
Samuel L. Jackson is walking past me. Serena Williams is walking past me. Kendrick Lamar is walking past me.
Who shared the stage with a kid from Fort Worth. I'm Scoop Jefferson.
Yeah, that song really is an earworm. It has been stuck in my head since before the Super Bowl.
Tell me the lyrics.
A minor.
Well, other than that, what were the rest of the lyrics?
Well, I think Chris could sing them.
Let's just stop for a minute here and realize that on the 6 o'clock news, the anchor is just gleefully repeating a line about how this guy fucks kids.
Yeah, but I think many people, if they just like the tune and the melody, think it's a musical note.
And that's insane.
Don't you think
it appears that is the case?
Yeah, I don't think she is thinking this is about pedophilia.
I don't know how you couldn't know if you're actually listening to it over and over, but she really likes that. But what I want you to note here, Pete, no fan of the hip hop.
Well, he's playing his role of run the ball guy.
Yes.
And I didn't understand the lyrics.
A minor.
Well, other than that, what were the rest of the lyrics?
Well, I think Chris could sing them for you.
No. I was asking you. I was asking you. I couldn't understand the lyrics. I mean, and I know that I'm ancient, but but my hearing's not that bad. But I just couldn't.
If you think that's going to happen, just put the closed captioning on.
Even my kids, they were like, I'm like, what's he saying? Because I wanted to know.
Yeah.
God, that's a smarmy effing tone.
But I feel like
visually,
he knows who his audience is.
I know.
That's who's watching the nightly news.
Yeah, they wanted someone else. They didn't want
10.
Kendrick Lamar, someone like Steven Tyler and Aerosmith, or Mick Jagger and Rolling Stone, guys who
McCartney. That was a show.
Guys who famously enunciate very well, and you can always understand everything they're saying.
I didn't hear what you guys thought of the Grammys halftime show. I mean, I think a few more things are going on than just a generational gap. There are other hip hop artists that are more performative.
Yeah.
Have a little bit more.
They have hits.
And they also have more bombast in their presentation. You know, there was a hip hop Super Bowl a few years ago.
The one that he was a part of, the Shady Aftermath one that everybody knows in the club.
It
they
was
know.
It was hugely popular.
Yeah, those are, yes, this is not that.
So what did you guys think of it?
Well, I'm a huge fan.
Of Kendrick Lamar.
And have been since forever. So, but I always liked dense hip hop. I like stupid stuff too. But I thought it was a weird choice just because even his hits are not really fun.
Well, dense is a very good word for his work. And I thought it was weird. I mean, I actually thought it was kind of strange.
It's always going to be strange. It's always going to be strange. But, you know, I probably would have loved it, but I couldn't understand the lyrics. Just couldn't understand
I've enjoyed the breakdowns of it. As I watch videos of people telling me what all the symbolism meant and how he's actually given a big finger to this, you know, the man and all, and so that's, you know, bravo to him for getting to do it.
Yeah.
But as a popular, widespread, I'm very surprised it was even on there. I would think it's more, you want something more pop culture-y and
yeah.
But I guess my question is, if the symbolism has to be explained, then how is it a middle finger if nobody gets it?
That's a good point. It's kind of one of those.
Unless you study on it. Yeah,
yeah, it's kind of one of those. You have a name for it. Well, I'll tell you, it's like this. So they're not going to we're going to just go to the games from now on and chant, "We love Nico." It's just for you and your friends. You're the only ones that get that he's given the middle finger, which is less effective. Anyways.
They were like, I'm like, what's he saying? Because I wanted to know. Yeah. And they're like, Dad, it doesn't matter.
I have to do that sometimes with some shows because like the ambient noise is loud, but then they kind of mutter. So I have to put the closed captioning on. I know that's a sign of old age. You don't have to say it, but I got to put it on so I can catch everything.
I understood all the lyrics, and they were very meaningful. He had a lot to...
That's Pete. Fuck, what is you kidding me? This rapper has something to say? Okay. Yeah.
I know that's a sign of old age. You don't have to say it, but I got to put it on so I can catch everything.
I understood all the lyrics, and they were very meaningful. He had a lot to say in those lyrics, especially if you know the backstory.
We've been talking about this for 2 minutes. You still haven't told me what they were. Let me show you this. Here we go. Outside. I know the backstory. Drake loves to sue. So I know where he wasn't going to go. Right, Joe? Joe's walking in.
Anyways, yeah.
And Jake, I'm not, I don't know Kendrick Lamar that well, but I mean, when she's talking about a backstory, I mean, the backstory I know is the Drake backstory.
Yeah.
Well, how is that meaningful? That's just a rap beef.
That is true. The the Uncle Sam thing with Uncle Tom, Samuel. I don't really care anymore about messages.
Samuel L. Jackson was in the Black Panther.
But the point is, Pete wasn't having it.
Yeah. So who are the players there? Pete, old white guy.
Chris,
who's
middle-aged
Chris?
black guy.
Middle-aged black guy. Okay.
Because you see,
play the beginning of that again, then, because I feel like there's an is it racist moment.
Cynthia.
Samuel L. Jackson.
You want to go back to like?
Well, Cynthia says
A minor.
Well, other than that, what were the rest of the lyrics?
Well, I think Chris could sing them for you.
That's what I'm saying. Is that racist?
She's probably just deflecting.
I think the black guy here can sing them.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be a few words in there that are probably going to be a little more acceptable for Chris than for me. But you're probably
He
right.
wasn't throwing down the N-word on that halftime show, was he?
No, he was editing it.
Okay.
But I'm more focusing on all my homies hate Pete Delicus.
Really?
Just smarmy right there. Oh, I still can't tell me what he's saying. Huh? Probably saying nothing, idiot. How could he possibly be smart? Like, dude, we get it. You don't respect the art form. Again, no, it'd be way better if they got Tom York or someone. Very meaningful to hear a drunk white guy.
But there's a reason why Tom York has never been asked to do the Super Bowl, and he is possibly one of the most artful songwriters.
This is
of
true.
The 90s and the aughts. There's
it's
a
not
reason
Kendrick's
why,
fault, but you're right.
It's Jay-Z's fault for programming it that way.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Now you've got me.
A minor.
Well, other than that, what were the rest of?
All right, there's your news.
The Dumb Zone News. Like and subscribe.
Did you get any hate mail over my piece? Any negative feedback of?
Not nearly enough. I got one. This guy always writes to me after everything I do, and it's usually to complain about what I've said. And so I think of him as kind of a fan.
Sorry about Dan.
Exactly.
My burner.
No, he was like, this person, in our culture, we have, kowtowed to the victim mentality, and we now believe that these people are worthy of praise, when in fact, so that kind of thing. That's the only angry letter I got. I got a ridiculous amount of positive feedback. Really, really.
Jake's a hero. Brave.
So brave. So brave. He loves that.
Courageous.
I do.
A courageous, brave hero.
Heavy as that.
Hey, can I ask you guys about Love Island?
Yeah. Dan's daughters are really into it. I saw you wrote about that too.
Can we talk about the Spanish one going around?
Yeah, let's talk about Montoya.
Well, what's that?
Man.
I don't even know how to start.
Yeah, so the Spanish version of it, it was very, I think they doubled down this week. But last week, we have the video if you want to play it. Is it in there? I never thought we'd get to it, but there's a guy who just has to watch his girlfriend get boned.
What?
Like they're on the beach and they have a closed circuit television to her bedroom, and he's like the most over the top Spanish soap opera. No, no. They're like, Montoya.
¿Por qué?
Yeah, he's like, ¿por qué? And they just got a black and white TV of his girlfriend just getting boned.
And because he apparently didn't follow the rules or something, so he was not allowed to watch the tablet. So his buddies had to watch and report what was happening to him.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Which made for great television. I couldn't understand a word of it, but it was great.
Yeah, it was it was really fascinating television. You tried to run in there and beat the guy's ass,
I just watched Love Island for the first time because there was an event on Monday night at Raising Cane's.
Yeah, I was very confused by the title of your article.
It was meant to sort of unseat a person. I think it's like Love Island, Raising Cane's, Chicken Fingers, and the hijacking of the female brain. Because it's like, how did those things go together? But there was a promotional of Valentine's Day event where two of the stars of season 6, Janae and Kenny, Kenny is based here in Dallas, and they did a promotional event, and hundreds of screaming college-age girls were there. God. And the woman at Raising Cane's was like, we do a lot of these events, and she's like, I've never seen this for a reality show. Like, I've seen this for sports stars. Never seen this. And so then I go into my theory that dating shows are sports for women.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely the case.
Yeah. Which is really an inversion of something Gordon Keith told me many years ago, which is that sports are soap operas for men.
Yeah. However you want to look at it.
However you want to frame it.
Both opiates of the masses.
Absolutely. And I was surprised. Like, I watched the first 15 minutes of Love Island, and I was like, this show is disgusting. It's so heinous. It's obnoxious.
And it rules.
And then an hour in, I was hooked. Yeah. Absolutely hooked. And there's like, in order to watch a season of Love Island, you have to watch approximately like 40 to 45 hours of programming.
Jesus.
Which I did. I just mainlined it right into my veins. And I was so obsessed with that show. And I loved it. And I'm wondering if either of you has ever watched it.
He has, right?
It's on in my house.
I did Love is Blind.
Same thing on,
Which
on
I
my
love.
house.
I love Love is Blind.
You want to watch Montoya? While we're here, why not?
Yeah.
He's got it.
Yeah. Dan needs to see it.
Oh, yeah. This is Spain, baby. This ain't the U.S.
Away.
They'll show a rabbit F for sure.
That's such a good edit.
Oh, my gosh.
But no, back to Sarah's story, though. I think it's interesting because it's like you see the glamour of being on Love Island. Everybody's hot. It's edited well. It's on TV. They don't know about the grind the backstory, the nitty gritty of being a reality star, which is being at a Raising Cane's in Grand Prairie on a Monday night to fulfill a promotional obligation.
Absolutely. And having
I would be beaten by that.
Oh my God. And they had to do all these they were basically filming a commercial. It was really smart on Raising Cane's part because they basically lured everyone with the promise of like autographs and selfies. And then all they did was film commercials of these two talking about like, I love the sauce and I love, and it was like, feed her a chicken finger, and
what a world.
What a world.
What a world.
The Dumb Zone presents Today in History.
We'll make this brought to you by One Day Doors and Closets.
You need to hear about this one, Sarah.
I do.
It's the buy one, get one free promo on doors at onedaytexas.com/promo30.
Let's be honest, your doors in your home probably suck.
They're all crooked.
Yeah. Old.
They don't close right. Like
paint all chipped up.
Yep.
This is your place then.
Yeah. They will custom make you new doors. You just you change the doors out and you're like, it's like a new house. So check them out at onedaytexas.com, promo 30.
Let's see. Today's Wednesday, February 12th. We're doing a show on Wednesday. We don't usually. But Jake's going out of town. Where are you going?
Yeah.
Angel Fire in New Mexico.
Where's that?
Near Colorado. It's ski and snowboard trip.
Oh.
I went last year and swore I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
Why?
I've been going my whole life, because I was in bad shape.
Oh, well, this is the trip you took right before you went into rehab, right?
No, that was Cleveland.
Oh,
our show.
Oh.
That was a work trip.
Yeah, but even without like really drinking much when I was there in Angel Fire last time, I can't do it anymore. Like I couldn't walk up and back and forth down the mountain. My joints were all terrible shape. It was just not enjoyable because my body was so bad. And now I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. I have one other friend who doesn't drink going.
Interesting. That's good. That's good.
Who doesn't drink because they drank too much? Okay.
I don't have a lot of
just guys
who don't
drink on their own.
I'm not gay.
So on this day in 1995, Wednesday, February 12th, computer entrepreneur Philip Kramer, who was also the former bassist for the rock group Iron Butterfly, mysteriously disappeared.
Yeah.
Huh.
I've heard this story, I think.
His skeletal remains found by hikers 4 years later.
Wow.
Inside a smashed Ford van 450 feet below Decker Canyon Road in a canyon on the Santa Monica Mountains. I don't remember hearing about this at all, ever, until this morning when I printed this out.
So does a human body decompose in 4 years?
Well, it says they found skeletal remains, but probably animals are eating it up, too.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that would help.
On this day in 1998 is the day Chan Gailey became the fourth head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
General timeline is most flesh gone after a year.
Really?
Yeah. Hair and nails 3 to 5. Yeah.
That's faster than I would have thought.
Yeah, me too. Sorry, Dan.
On this day in 2019, El Chapo was convicted in New York of running an industrial-scale smuggling operation. He is now at the federal Supermax prison in Colorado.
Do you know any of the others? Can you reel them off?
Who's there? Like,
yeah,
famous, like John Wayne Gacy or somebody?
Yeah,
somebody that's still alive.
Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, I believe.
Who's that?
The Boston Marathon bomber.
Oh yeah, I didn't know his name.
The hot one.
The hot one.
ADX Florence. That's what it's called. A lot of others.
A
lot of heavy hitters on the line for this Wednesday.
We have a few viewer mail birthdays.
Zacharias Moussaoui. That was a ticket drop.
9/11 guy?
Yeah.
My husband, Mitchell George, has only one birthday wish this year, a shout-out from his beloved Dumb Zone. You are the unofficial third party in our marriage.
Tag me in.
Mitchell loves you so much he dragged you to Tyler last year, threw you a party, baked you a cake with Gary Busey's face on it.
Our guy.
And then committed a minor crime by stealing Jake's vape pen as a keepsake. Did you know that? Were you like, where'd my pen go?
Yeah, you
my vape.
Charge it to the game. Guy was really cool.
So happy birthday to Mitchell George. From Caitlin.
Happy birthday.
Used to be a hot name. Now I think of a decathlon winner. Sorry, Caitlin.
I think of someone who could write a beautiful theme.
Oh, that's true.
For our show. We found out just the other day that lesbians still have to use tampons.
What? Why would you not? Why would you think they don't?
Why did you say that out loud?
I was just something Dan and I were talking about.
Why?
Because somebody left their bag and they were a lesbian and there were tampons in it.
And you were like, oh.
I had to peek inside the bag to see whose
it
bag
was. Yeah. And at first we were like, that can't be hers.
I just saw some tampons. I'm like, okay, well that narrows it down. There's only 2 ladies up here last night.
It was news to me.
Why would you think that a lesbian wouldn't have a period?
Dear Uncle Hotmail,
Not
it is
gonna
my
answer that.
Kurt Schilling birthday.
Oh, cool guy.
I was disappointed last week in Blake when you read my son's birthday, Brenham Luca, and he didn't jump in with the Brenham High School mascot.
There's no way Blake knows that one.
That's probably why he didn't jump in.
Yeah.
You don't know it?
No.
You should do
Cubs.
You should do the Luca.
That's good.
The Luca kid story. Like just how many people in DFW have kids named that?
Oh yeah, we should. And are they going to rename them?
I mean, I know a guy who was a producer at Fox 4. His kid's first name. I have a friend.
Pets. There's so many pets named.
Good friend of mine. He's going on this trip. His son's name is Luca.
Yeah, that is a good story.
Because it's a cool name. Yeah.
How close were you?
That's a free one.
Yeah.
Did you want to name your kid Luca?
Yes.
Yeah.
As close as...
Because he'll be here for 15 years.
Right.
Then he'll grow up and he'll know it's him, and
yeah,
you're named after greatness.
Yeah, so I got as close
No one's
as
naming their
get.
kid AD.
No. No, they're not.
Anyway, look forward to Jake leading the charge on the 4-9 Lakers-Mavs protest. My leaders are pre-rehab Jake, Blake's book list, and Dan's many nicknames. More Blake book reviews, more Julie, Soroy, and Danny.
Less Sarah Hepola.
He's not saying that.
Okay.
I finished King of Diamonds, Sarah, because
Ooh.
you said it's awesome.
Did you like it?
I did, but you read the book to find out who the diamond thief was, and at the end it's like she says, "Who do you think it was?" So it's like you read the entire thing like it's a mystery, but then you find out, oh no, this was more of a
You just give a
biography on
huge
Dallas.
spoiler for anybody who wanted to read
It's a
it.
fantastic, but I'm telling you, don't read it to find out who it was.
But
You read it to learn about Dallas.
Absolutely, but she also basically solves it.
Kind of, but there's no confirmation. It's
right,
just like
because
all these
she's doing it journalistically. I mean, there hasn't been any confirmation of it, but I think she solves it.
Well, you got to understand, I'm used to reading like very dainty novels, and
He reads lady sex novels.
There's an affair and there's a murder, and you always find out who it is in the end. So I was a little disappointed.
It's a little different.
Learning about the Dallasites and the underground casinos and the mob, it was awesome.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's such a good secret history of Dallas.
Yeah. So thanks for the rec.
Yeah, thanks for reading it.
Are you bothered by people saying less Sarah Hepola? Or does it come with the territory of being Sarah Hepola?
I think it yeah, I think at first it kind of hurt my feelings. But then
because it will inspire the others then will feel obligated to say more Sarah. So
because everybody wants to be loved, and I always love my time with y'all. So I want your listeners to be like, "Oh, that's cool. She was on there." And so when you leave and it's like less of that, it's like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? How do you let that bother you? It seems like you're maybe drawing a little too much from this." It's literally saying, "I don't want to hear from you."
Yeah.
Trust me.
Anyway, this
I've
is
been through
from
it.
Justin Terry, who says, "I'd love to hear the full original no puppet audio."
Y'all played that for me once.
Yeah.
The original?
Yeah.
It's super
The original
cool.
from Trump
It's-
and Hillary?
No, from Jake.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
And when we played it last time, I was probably like, awesome. This is super cool, man. I'm really
actually-
struggling with addiction.
Between you and me, I actually was uncomfortable because I was like, that is.
Yeah.
I was like a little bit worried about you at the time.
Well, I had to listen to it and still do
Yeah.
every day. So you can just be reminded of it.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't give a fuck.
I don't even remember that audio. What did it sound
They're
like?
putting the
actually?
chains
You
down.
thought maybe
No
he'd be
use
like,
for
oh, it seems to bother
rest
him.
of
I
this
won't do
game.
it.
Holy
Fade Des Bryant. Scrambling around, finding men.
Yes! Cowboys win! Cowboys win! Cowboys win! Yes!
You're the puppet! You're the puppet!
Puppet, you f***ing puppet!
He's the puppet!
You think TC has the original with no beeps?
Oh, yeah.
You puppet!
I think it's about time we got
Puppets!
that. Don't you?
Sure. It's available.
No puppet! No puppet! Spalding!
Fuck yeah.
Spalding! Spalding! Holy
Merry Christmas, Philadelphia.
Merry Christmas, Eagles!
Eagles! 3-0!
That guy doesn't
No,
drink.
Romo, I don't even know you. I've never heard of you.
Were you drinking that day?
See what I deal with?
I know.
You know, it's like trying to explain this to people, like at rehab.
Oh,
or in
my God.
like in group
What,
therapy
dealing with
sessions.
me?
I would love to
I'm just like, yeah, you know, it's like they play me fucked up every day, and I have to like listen to it, and they're like, why don't you change jobs? It
Yeah.
seems- seriously, every group therapy I've ever been in, or every therapist I've talked to, is like, it's pretty clear you need a different job. I'm like, okay, so that's the one thing that's not really on the table. But everyone you talk to is like, it seems very clear.
And they're probably like, that is abuse, Jake.
Like you need more supportive people.
But the
around you.
problem is, then they say it, and I'm like, I reflexively am like, y'all are pussies. Like I start defending Dan and
I know.
Blake.
I
Like,
know.
reflect. I'm like,
I know.
whatever.
This is your.
You just don't get
that
them, okay?
Stockholm syndrome. Like
fun.
you have to
It's fun
defend
here.
your captors.
Yeah.
You know. What's up, effers? It is my brother Calvin's Dennis Eckersley birthday. He'd like a shout out from the gayest goats ever. Keep jackin' Scrows. Day 2 DF Trick Ruiz.
Do females? We have a new segment we're doing called Bad Beats, but it's not about gambling.
Okay.
It's about uncomfortable, bad JO situations. Girls don't even worry about
Self-pleasuring.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
Jack.
your mom walks in, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Girls don't even really worry about that, do they? Ever?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'll tell you one thing is that if you have a vibrator or you travel with a vibrator, that
TSA.
the TSA
Yeah.
situation.
I had an electric razor go off in my bag one time, and I was like, "No, I promise.
Yeah.
I promise."
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Just your vibrating handbag.
Yep.
And dear ventriloquist of the vulva.
Wow.
Today is the 37th birthday of my buddy Cody Coughlin. You know him as the lawyer who brought you squatty potties in November.
They're very nice.
His
Do you guys use that?
I do.
My brother does too. What's going on?
His leaders are the guy who had his 12-year-old brother pee in a cup to pass a drug test,
Legend.
the Pirate House Backyard Bar,
Also.
and Dan's brother texting their mom happy birthday at 12:15 a.m.
He's a good son.
Hope y'all are hanging in there on day 13 AL. From Bill, the guy whose wife made the Bucky peed.
Oh, nice.
Heck yeah.
Have you seen the Bucky peed?
No.
You remember the movie Human
Oh
Centipede?
my God.
His wife is an actual surgeon.
Yeah.
God.
And this is surgical, like this is
That's a one of one.
sewed together
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
professionally done.
That's amazing. I'm speechless. Can I go back to how that person greeted you? He called somebody the ventriloquist of the vulva.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
I think it means you're down there talking to it, making it talk.
Like you're talking for the vulva?
I make it talk, bro.
Yeah.
I make it sing.
Make it sing. Make that.
Oh, okay. Okay. I get it now.
You know you know Dan for 2 minutes.
And you know.
This is a guy who makes that thing sing.
I'm down there at a moment's notice. Other birthdays, Derek Lively is 21.
Such a baby.
Sorry, Derek.
Such a young pup. I wish he could get traded to the Lakers.
Josh Young, 27.
Dang, it's old.
It is old.
Big year coming up, boys.
2 years older than Luka.
Remember how Cooperstein told us that he'll never be anything because he's always getting hurt? And people reminded him that he got hurt by standing in the batter's box.
Yeah, he got drilled with a baseball.
I think he still argued, though, right?
Yeah, and
Like, look,
Cooperstein's
I'm
like,
just
hey,
saying,
look, bad
keep
luck
your
just follows players around.
Like their new center.
Yeah.
DeMarco Murray, 37.
Spray tan.
Lenny Randall, 76.
Help me.
He's the guy that beat up his old man manager, Frank Lucchese,
Oh, okay.
back in the 70s, Rangers. RG3, 35. He's online.
Very weird career.
Larry Nance, 66.
Cleveland.
Cavalier great. When I was a kid, the human pogo stick. Won
That
the dunk
was
contest.
A moniker that was taken over by Ray J.
Doug Deacon, 76, was a Browns lineman who was their color commentator, and I used to see him at a Bill Belichick press conference standing in the back with an unlit cigar in his mouth and a big wad of chew in his mouth as well, like both at the same time.
Lenny Randall also started the fight in Cleveland, right?
Is he the guy that did that?
Yeah. Bunted
So-
and hit the pitcher?
Yeah, the week before the nickel beer night. Yes, he bunted down the first base line and then ran the pitcher over when he went to field it.
That was very well executed.
Almost a Cowboy, Paxton Lynch, 31.
Good God. I think he does games now. Like when I would go to the list of find out where Ted Emmerich or Mike Cousins was going to be, I'm like, holy shit, Paxton Lynch.
Christina Ricci is 45.
You know,
Got to be on Jake's
it's
list.
going to seem weird because she's a little thinner than I would prefer, but
she's crazy.
I really always had a thing for her. She seemed crazy. There are definitely a few relationships I've had in my life that are direct results of the existence of Christina Ricci.
Why?
I don't know. It's just something kind of kooky about it, you know? Like, hell, I don't know. Why all the dogs your mom have 3 legs. This is weird, but I like it here.
Arsenio Hall, 69.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Sarah, these guys know this, but at the house I lived at in college, we had a hallway that connected one half of the house to the other. There was a laundry machine in it. And it really wasn't for anything other than maybe you'd go up there and fire up a doob. And we dubbed it Arsenio Hall. And purchased a large picture of Arsenio Hall and hung it there.
That's cute.
It was.
Michael McDonald is 73.
Michael McDonald. Fantastic live.
Yacht Rock guy. He's heavy in that Yacht Rock documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my dad and I went and saw the Doobie Brothers, you know. He's with them. He's with Steely Dan. And it was kind of all 3 of them. Michael McDonald's just up there for 3 hours. Kind of just flat out awesome, to be honest with you. Just a fun guy.
Gucci Mane, 45.
Wow. Burr. Landry, big Gucci guy.
Josh Brolin, 57.
Wow.
President Bush.
Yeah.
And author Judy Blume is 87.
Whoa.
Don't really know. I know that the girls in high school were into her.
I was so into her.
But
I was obsessed with those books.
She's probably on the list of people they're banning now, right? Because
She's always
about
been
periods and
She's
stuff.
always been.
Okay.
So she wrote a book called Forever, which in the 80s was being banned because it had sex. So of course that was the first one you had to read.
Oh my gosh. If a book is banned, if you're told as a teenager you're not allowed to, like, that's what you should do with.
Exactly. You go straight to it.
With whatever, Grapes of Wrath. There's something that's on your reading list. They should be like, you're not allowed to read this one, but you can read it, and then you'll go read that.
Mm-hmm. Like, boy, this
Why was this
Spartacus
banned?
is very boring.
Yeah.
No, I was a big Judy Blume guy.
Oh, you were.
That's how I learned
That's how
about
he's so in touch
ladies.
with the female.
The vulva from "Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret."
A classic book.
That was pretty much the only. I mean, maybe it's different now, but there wasn't a lot of big sex talks going on with parents and kids. And so you had to read Judy Blume to figure some stuff out.
I think I might have learned about men's masturbation from her book. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, there's one in there.
You know,
there's one in the list.
I think it's called Then Again, Maybe I Won't.
It's about jerking it?
Well, I don't think it's about that.
It just features
it. It features it.
It would have stuff like the kid that got a boner in class, but had to walk up to the chalkboard and like, oh man.
I was like, wow, that's happening?
That actually did happen to me. Born on this Day Now Dead, Bill Russell. Chris McCandless, the subject of the book Into the Wild.
Yeah, okay.
Great book.
Mm-hmm.
James Smathers, who invented the electric typewriter and was born in Texas. Abraham Lincoln, who was born in a log cabin, right? Don't we always hear that about Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah, I've always assumed, yeah.
Are they doing away with the penny? Is the penny gone?
I think I've been hearing that for a long time.
No, the big man.
He likes the
I
penny?
think he signed.
No,
he signed it.
He's against it.
Oh.
He's
okay.
anti-penny. I actually heard, who's your podcast buddy that he actually interviewed us once?
Mike Pesca.
Mike Pesca.
Mike Pesca was doing a little bit on that the other day. He's so smart. I love Mike Pesca.
Oh, my God. I love him.
I'm like, why were we ever on this show?
He loves you guys.
Oh, we got to have him on.
Oh, my God. He's so smart.
But he was talking about the fact that why does it, which I thought was a great point. Like, he's not on board with Trump. But he's like, I am on board with this. Like, I've been talking about it for years. He doesn't like the penny. And apparently the penny actually costs more than twice
to make than
it's worth. Like, the cost of producing one penny costs like 3 cents. Like, so why? And we don't want it anyway. Anyway, Mike Pesca has been hitting this penny thing for years, and he played a couple of interview clips. Like, he had Buttigieg on like 5 years ago and asked him about the penny, and Buttigieg's like, I don't know. Like, anybody he has on was like, we can't really. There's a lot of red tape to go through for that, and they're worried about their constituents, and is there a copper mine in my state or something?
Yeah, I
and,
guess I could see that.
But so they're all, and then Trump's just like, hey, pennies suck.
Yeah,
we don't want a penny.
Done.
And he's like, Pesca's question is, why does it take a guy like this who is swinging a wild axe left and right to actually like hit one that's an obvious, like, if there are obvious things that should be done away with, isn't this is the positive side of a guy like Trump?
Yeah.
Can just come in and go, stop these norms that we just all have to dance around. I don't know if we should eradicate the penny or not. Well, let's have another meeting on it. Well, let's do a study. How about no, we're just not going to have it because I see that it's bad.
Yes, of course. The problem is that when you do that to everything.
Well, no, he does realize that, but he's like, why does it take a guy like this for a clearly obvious thing that should be eradicated to get eradicated? And isn't that maybe an indication that maybe this whole system does need a little bit of reform? Anyway, Mike Pesca, smart guy. Born on this day, now dead, also Charles Darwin, who invented evolution. Before that ever existed. Dead on this day, still dead, I'll give you one. Tom Landry.
Ooh.
Died on this day in the year 2000.
Huh.
Only smart decision Jerry ever made.
That's rough.
And that was Today in History.
Getting that old F out of there.
So, Sarah, where can people find you, your fine work? Dallas Morning News?
Yeah, Dallas Morning News. I write the high-profile column. You can also listen to my podcast, Smoke 'em If You Got 'em, which I do with Nancy Rommelman. And
what did I hear
subscriber.
y'all talking about?
What?
It was something I heard y'all talking about I wanted to comment on, but...
Was it Baby Girl, female submission?
Oh, it was... well, I'm interested in that. You watched the Trans Cartel musical.
Oh, we watched.
We haven't seen it yet. We played a clip.
The Trans Cartel musical.
Penis or vagina. Penis to vagina.
It's that is one of the wildest musical numbers in any movie.
We just watched that part.
The movie is actually pretty good. What's weird, and I watched it, and when it got to that one part you're talking about, I was like, I got to tap out of this movie. I can't watch it. But then I kept watching it. It was kind of interesting. So I made Nancy watch it, and then she ended up really liking it. I think it's interesting. I don't think it should be up for all the Oscars. I don't think it should be. Shouldn't be getting all the backlash. I think it's sort of amazing that this woman that they held up is sort of like progressive hero. Then they dug out all these tweets.
That's always good.
I mean, it's just like, whatever.
They're calling it Gulf of America now, folks.
Are you gonna call it that?
Adios, mofo.
We gotta go before this becomes a zoo.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my videos.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. Don't get that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings. Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the butter spread. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the butter spread. To get your butter spread all on me. I don't like the way it mixes with my mac and cheese. Cause when you're at KFC, you got that special sauce to stir my curiosity. Just give me a 5-piece meal, oh what a deal. A big old box, it's all for me. You know I'll take coleslaw on the side.